allies. Obviously, Gil and I and Michael have been allies for a long time, so the mutual back scratching has to be taken with a a little bit of indulgence. You know the way it is. Sometimes it works, and sometimes it doesn't when you're public speaking. And I've been thrown off a little because looking at the brochure, it says there's a big picture. It says San Clemente, and then there's a picture of like a chateau, and that's where we went. So there was 4 of us, and we get there just about noon and rush into the center of it, but no one was there. So I'm very sorry I'm late. I would have been precisely on time. It's not my style to be early, but it's not my style to be late either, and you'll have to forgive me. The subject matter, to snitch or not to snitch, is one that I have real strong feelings on. So maybe it's good that I speak on that subject, and maybe it's bad. And I had obviously... I think I've been going after snitches, for at least the better part of 25 years. Before there was, let's say, an era of snitches, there were always informants, and I've been doing drug cases that long. But obviously, in the old political cases, there were a number of informant types. And we had provocateurs then. We used to call them provocateurs, and they ranged from the undercover police officer to the civilian who would infiltrate all of those organizations in the 60s, and they would promulgate, a lot of criminal activity, and then ultimately they had an inside perspective on what was occurring because they had instigated it. So my point is, sometimes when I try to size myself up, I'm just kind of now talking offhand to warm myself up because I'm a little off going to the wrong place at the wrong time. What I've been doing, it's like a prosecutor. I've been a prosecutor all my life, prosecuting informants. Most of the cases I've had, there's been informants. And so over, let's just say, a period of 25 years, you know how like when you start baseball, or you start something that's a skill, or you start something that requires method and premeditation, you learn it. And then you think about it. Intellectually, you abstract some of the motifs, and you've got kind of a plan or a design. And obviously, I presume I was scholarly at one point, and therefore I presume I did that. But at this point, it's just a raw nerve instinct. What I do is Pavlovian. I go after snitches. I've gone after snitches so long that I don't require whatever the word is, the abstraction, the intellectuality that should precede some kind of a philosophic theme. I accept this, like a guy being in war or battle for, 2 decades and a half, and you do it unthinking. You can do it skillful, but you do it unthinking. And so, in terms of me, and I have prepared a little inventory of what I think major, ideological themes are when it comes to the theme to snitch or not to snitch, or the theoretical great debate. But for me now, it's instinct. It's not intellect. It's filled with bitterness. It's filled with pain. It's filled with a kind of a fear at one level, and then anger at another level. It's all mixed up, in my psyche and in my emotions. So it's very difficult then to say, well, why is it bad? I have a very strong view that it's bad, let's say moral, and then bad practical, and bad, in every ramification of the theme. So I want to start kind of like real simplistic with actuality, and then I'm going to get into a more formalistic theme. I think probably we've all done variations of this. About a few weeks ago, in an area not close to San Francisco, I went to see a person on the weekend who had been recently busted. He was 21. He had one prior. the case was such that he was facing mandatory 20 to life. So I go in to see him, and I sat with him for about 2 hours, and he was young and innocent in terms of his worldly maturation. And in the case that he was arrested for, he was a very trivial part of it, like not even really from the government's perspective more than a courier receiving a very small amount of money. But for him it was going to be 20 to life, 20 to life. And so I got there in Lidrell, and you've done it, and this is where it really hits you, because if you're on the other side, you still have this emotional matrix that should be open. He just cried, man. He just cried for about an hour and a half. And it was like a contact visit, and it was a real narrow table. And so like we were face to face, you know, and I'm kind of the champion of the anti-snitch position. And there is this child, really, you know, not a man yet. And he's crying for an hour and a half, sobbing, crying in front of me. And you know what the way the colloquy goes. He's going, they want me to roll on, and he mentioned some name, but he's my best friend. Tony, I don't want to roll on him, but he's crying, and tears are coming down, and he's saying, but I don't want to go. I'm only 21, and I won't get out till I'm 40, and I wanted to have babies, and I have an old lady. And he was just, so heavy, and what'll I do? Just you know, poses it right there in a nutshell. What'll I do? I don't want to roll. Can we beat the case, Tony? Can we beat the case? And I have it, you know, right now, like just in my psyche, my dream life. I'm a guy that dreams, you know, about snitches and cases. Now I got him there, just crying with tears coming down my face, be close to his. And what I do is that you can't, you know, how would I say, emotionalize. You don't emotionalize. So you have to be zen, is that the word? And you just have to, I'm not saying be rational or cerebral. You know, you just there say, you know, what I say is let's look at it. Let's see what the tapes are. They were body wired, cooperating defendant body wired them on the alleged time for pickup. And I don't know, and ultimately this person didn't snitch, and ultimately they didn't indict him. So it was like very lucky. But when I was sitting there for an hour and a half, this is why I want to start this way, because it makes it about heavy as get. I got 5 kids, and then I got twins that are about the same age as this kid. And as much as all of us, you know, are capable of loving our children, I love my children. I would do anything, I think, for them. I think I could die for them. I think I love them strong enough. I'm kind of old and limp at this point. I would gladly sacrifice my life for theirs. And so, as I sat there then, and in retrospect, let's just say in my dream life, I still see I see my kid, my own kid, and then I go, well, what would you do, Tony? What would you do if it was your own kid? And this is what I've come to a conclusion. And this is just my view. I would say, you know, then I could tell them what I felt. You can't tell. You're not preaching ideology to people. You're their agent. You can't tell them whether to snitch or not snitch. That's not your prerogative. I'm a trial lawyer. So if a person wants to cooperate, I just walk away. That's my prerogative. So I don't represent snitches. I never have, and I never will. I won't represent them, you know, knowingly anyway. Sometimes they're snitches, and they're even snitching on you, and you don't know it. So this is what I would tell my kid. This be Shelter or Ivory or Chime, my boys, or Wonder, Lilac, my girls. I would say, no, we fight it. We always fight it. We'll fight it all the way. But Dad, and I hope he wouldn't be crying, but he could be crying. You know we're going to lose. They got me wired. There's going to be 2 witnesses against me. We're going to lose. I'm going to go for 20 years. And I would say, we'll fight it all the way. You know, maybe we can do something. Maybe we'll be lucky. I've been lucky before. Maybe we'll hang it. Maybe the judge will commit reversible error. Maybe a miracle happened, but we will fight it, son. But I'm going to be gone for 20 years, Dad. And I would say, if that happens, we will love you. We will respect you. We will honor your name. We will visit you. Your picture will hang on our walls. We will pay tribute to you. You will be loved amongst us, your family and your friends. You will never be forgotten. It will all be waiting for you when you're outside. Everything, within our grasp that we can give, we will give. And then if they say, the son, I'm talking about my son, talking about like your son or your daughter, your brother, your sister. Well, I can't do it, Dad. I can't do it. I can't do 20 years. Then I would say, I will bring you to hemlock. That is, you die. If you can't do it, you die. Die honorable. You don't have to do it. You can't do 20 years? Then die. This I say to my son. I don't say this to the client, but I want you to know the strength of the emotional involvement I have in this issue. You die and we will revere your image forever. We will hallow your image. We will have your picture. We will tell everyone how brave you are, how courageous you are, what a warrior, how loyal you are, how strong you are. We will love you and you will be born again. I'd say something like that. But you die a lion. You do not live the life of a dog. That's what I would tell my son. That's what the honest truth. I would sacrifice, son. I would sacrifice self. I would never continence within my blood, within my family, within my tribe. What I would call the Judas syndrome. That's how strong I feel. So then I'm thinking, and then just on the side, I would tell them, hey, half of the world always have been nuns and monks. Don't you see you have been chosen? There's a large burden been lifted from you. An equal large burden given to you. But now, you can master Hess. You can master Shakespeare, Schopenhauer. You can read, all of Socrates. You can create poetry. You can create literature. You can, look into yourself. You can find huge free zones within the meditation. I mean, it's not so bad to be in there 20 years. I would tell my son. I don't tell that to anyone. Obviously, it's loss, it's defeat, it's self-destruction, it's death, it's a symbol, that we can't continence. But to my son, I would say, you're given an opportunity. The sun that shines within the prison is the same sun that shines outside. The winds that blow, the spirits, that murmur and purr to you within your spirit can't ever be confined. They will come to you. All the eternal truths are in prison and outside of prison. Some societies, more than 50% in the Buddhists, more than 50% of the society are monks. They live in cells. The privations and deprivations that jail begets are the same things they choose. You have been given a holy life. See that part of it. You become larger.